It is all going on in the UAP space at this current time, as we've got Representative Anna Paulina Luna allegedly prepared, or spoken to already, an envoy to President Putin with regards to the UAP topic and about what Russia knows about UAPs, which is something that she did promise. And we've also got some very interesting updates from the man, the myth, the legend, Ross Coulthart himself, talking about the Age of Disclosure, which apparently is an upcoming documentary. We've got information from Luella Zondo. We've got all sorts of stuff. So we're going to kind of get started with Ross Coulthart. So Ross Coulthart has updated, stating that he is going to be doing an update on the Skywatcher stuff. Okay, and he's got apparently a brand new video coming out very soon, talking about summoning UFOs with psionics and a quote-unquote, or the dog whistle, which is very interesting because that's something that obviously Ross has been kind of in the mix with recently. He's apparently doing a study on psionics and it's currently being peer-reviewed, and apparently there is no cover-up underway. This is what Ross had to state with regards to all of this latest news.
I can tell you, I don't think I'm giving anything away here. I can tell you that there is going to be a video coming out, I hope relatively soon, from our friends at Skywatcher. That's the Jake Barber, Alex Clokus privately funded group that are investigating UAP phenomena and trying to use psionic summoning and the dog whistle to bring UAP objects, craft close in so that they can be videoed, photographed and studied. They are doing a study on psionics. They've spoken publicly about this in their previous videos. I think they've done interviews where they've talked about the fact that they are going to be studying telepathy and psionics. And I'm really excited. I'm aware of some of the work that they've been doing, and I'm really excited. I'm told they are in the peer review process at the moment, and it's taking a lot longer than expected. I am assured there is no cover-up underway, that they are going to be fully open and transparent, and I'm looking forward at some stage to interviewing either Alex or Jake or somebody from Skywatcher about it. But they are tied up in a very rigorous peer review process that is part of their own internal vetting and checking procedures. But at some stage, very, very soon, quite exciting work that I'm aware of that they've been doing with telepathy will be being made public. Watch this space.
I'm highly intrigued about this because this is always something that I've heard in the background and I've been like, what? Like, psionics, summoning UFOs. I mean, people swear by it. They say that this is, absolutely what's going to be happening. I don't know. The whole UFO topic to a lot of people is already incredibly far-fetched, but when you throw in this idea of telepathy, kind of summoning UFOs and commanding them, who am I to be ignorant enough to say that that's not a thing? But to a lot of people, they'll be like, all right, okay. But apparently as well, there is a new NHI documentary coming out called The Age of Disclosure, and Ross also shares a little bit of information with regards to that.
Whisper that the Age of Disclosure documentary is going to be coming out soon, possibly on a limited cinema release and more broadly possibly on Prime Amazon.
So that's obviously very, very exciting news with regards to that. And it's, this is kind of a little snippet, allegedly, from this kind of documentary.
The American people are ready to receive the truth.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone.
Non-human intelligence exists.
UAPs are real, they're here, and they're not human. I spent 25 years as a senior official with the CIA.
I worked on highly classified UAP programs.
28 years as an astrophysicist.
I served as the 4th Director of National Intelligence.
Director of Aviation Security in the National Security Council.
A one-star admiral after 32 years of service.
People that come forward with this, I feel like they've taken their life in their own hands.
I was recruited to a highly sensitive government program that investigated unidentified aerial phenomenon.
For over 16 years, on behalf of the U.S. government, I worked as a senior intelligence official on the unidentified aerial phenomenon topic.
We learned that the U.S. government was involved in a long-running secret war with other nations to collect and reverse engineer vehicles not made by humans.
I have seen with my own eyes non-human craft and non-human beings.
So look at that thing. It's rotating. There's a whole fleet of them.
The first country that cracks the code on this technology will be the leader for years to come.
China has established its own version of a UAP task force.
You think for a second that they wouldn't consider using it to achieve their ends of domination?
This is similar to the Manhattan Project. This is the atomic weapon on steroids.
This is so secret, very, very few people in our entire government have been allowed access to it.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis, but that begins to ramp out of control.
It's not acceptable to have secret parts of government that no one ever sees.
You better be careful about a government that doesn't trust its people, because there's no telling what they'll pull on you.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
You had information being locked away that could change the trajectory for species.
It has so many beneficial impacts, including clean energy.
We should have disclosure today. We should have disclosure tomorrow. The time has come.
I'm not going to lie, that is one of the coldest trailers I think I've ever seen to a documentary like that, right? That was cold. Like, I literally got goose pimples watching that, and it was just really cool. But it also kind of sheds a bit of light into why this government topic is so secretive. Obviously, everyone kind of talks about, well, why the secrecy? What's the need for secrecy? It's essentially because everyone wants to be the first to it. It's like the moon race all over again. They all want to be the first person there.
What else you want to know?
Coming very, very soon, and apparently it might be coming sooner than we have anticipated, according to Ross Coulthart. Very, very exciting stuff. On top of that, Ross Coulthart has also confirmed that he's got an upcoming interview with Tim Alberino. So, you know, he's confirmed that this interview will be taking place, which is a very exciting interview indeed, and I'll leave it to Ross to explain why.
Would you consider interviewing ufologist Timothy Alberino, who investigated similar suspicious black ops militia abducting humans with alien tech down in Peru? Are you familiar with this case? Keep up the good work.
Actually, I have exchanged messages with Tim Alberino, and he is on my list. As we all say, too much reality check is barely enough, and frankly, I just can't keep up with the volume of people that are available to be interviewed and the breadth and magnitude of the stories that we're trying to cover here. It's really exciting, actually. I'm very much enjoying it. I thought where I'm living at the moment, I'd be moving into a quiet, gentle, peaceful retirement in the Southern Highlands south of Sydney, maybe doing the odd UFO book and maybe doing the odd interview. It's just unbelievable, the volume of messages and responses that we're getting from people. It's very, very gratifying, and Tim's one of them. He did some great work. I've watched a few of his shows where he actually went down and investigated claims, particularly claims about the abduction or the attempted abduction of, I think, a 15-year-old teenage girl from a tribal community in Brazil, Peru, can't remember which place it was, but she told this harrowing story of this being on some kind of levitating platform coming towards her up a slope, grabbing her and trying to abduct her. Quite a frightening story, and if you take this into the context of the Chubba Chubbas, which we've also spoken about with Ronnie Vernay, Brazilian friend, we know that there are claims in tribal communities in both Brazil and Peru of often unfriendly beings, often using highly advanced technology that try and abduct locals, particularly young women. So yeah, Tim Alberino has investigated that, and thank you for reminding me. We should get Tim on. That's a great idea. I'm also in touch with Ronnie Vernay, who's doing another trip very soon to northern Brazil, and we're hoping to bring you a story on that at some stage as well.
So obviously, you know, Ross Coulthart again keeping his finger on the pulse when it comes to this kinds of stuff. Again, this is one of those things where it's like, yeah, do you know what? Like, Ross is kind of worth his weight in gold a little bit here, because he is someone who is significant influence within this space, who is able to actually pull the strings to make these conversations happen, unlike others who may not have that kind of ability. So, you know, in that sense, we are very fortunate to have Ross Coulthart serving in this kind of capacity. Now, interestingly, obviously, about a month ago, you may remember, Representative Anna Paulina Luna did an interview where she stated that she is going to be sitting down with representatives from Russia to talk about what they know about UAPs, about their task force and all the rest of it. Because, obviously, we know that George Knapp, under oath, testified in front of Congress, stating that he smuggled out UAP documents. He stated that on Joe Rogan. He reinforced it under oath in front of Congress. And, you know, it basically spurred on Congress to want to sit down with representatives from Russia to talk about what they know. Fortunately, Paulina Luna's pulled it out of the bag, and apparently she's had a meeting with, and I'm going to butcher this, Kirill Dmitriev. I don't know why I went in a bit of a Russian accent to say that out loud, but this is what she had to say with regards to that conversation.
What is the context for the Russia program? What can we expect about that? Obviously, when you hear Russia, people's eyes light up.
Yeah, so there's over 300 pages that will be submitted into the congressional record, of which people will be able to go through themselves. And really my main question for Mr. Knapp is, you know, and of course every member of Congress wants to know, how do you prove that this isn't actual disinformation that was handed over to American journalists or smuggled out of Russia by the KGB? And I think the real answer to that, in my opinion, is that we're not the only country that's actually looked into this. We actually have multiple parliaments that have announced hearings similar to what we're doing here in Washington, D.C., ranging from Mexico to Brazil to other countries as well, that are looking into launching their own task force. And so, to my knowledge, the Russian government did have something similar. I can tell you, Cuomo, that I actually met with the Russian government recently and asked them point blank if they had any information to share on this topic. And on that same front, we are looking forward to actually doing a bipartisan meeting with the Russian parliament here pretty soon, so we're trying to get that on the books.
Obviously, very exciting stuff, and we all know that it's not just the, you know, Americans that have got a UAP task force or are interested in this kind of disclosure, like the Representative Luna said there. Brazil, Mexico are two places. Russia's clearly got one. We know that China's got one. I'm pretty sure the UK's got one. Parts of Europe, France, Germany, I believe I've heard, Belgium have got all, like, you know, they may not have task forces per se, but they might have some kind of vested interest in the topic. I'm very, very intrigued and eager to see what comes off the back of this. You know, off the back of all of this, the Age of Disclosure documentary I'm excited about, the interviews with Ross Coulthart I'm excited about, and the information that Representative Luna delivers I am excited about. What do you guys think though? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of this down in the comments below. Way down there. Jump to get the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.